Hello, good morning. As part of the expert series today, we have a guest with us, and her name is Magali Mitaux, and she is the Customer Programs Manager at Polycom and based out of Paris. Let me hand it over to her to talk about herself and give us a brief introduction. Mag, over to you.
Hello, Anupam. Hello. So my name is Magali. I work for Polycom. I run the customer programs out of Paris for EMEA, EMEA being Europe, Middle East, and Africa for Polycom. I've been doing this for 6 years, and my responsibilities basically are to create content, customer-focused content, customer stories in various forms, singing our praises and saying how the Polycom solutions has improved their day-to-day work life and changed their lives, basically.
So what is the importance of content in your overall customer program strategy?
When customers arrive to us, prospects arrive to us, they've done 60% of the research, right? They on their own, before even contacting us. They've done their own research on the internet and through different medias. Trying to get the information that they're looking for. So content is extremely valuable to have out there in different formats, and customer marketing and customer stories bring a positive sentiment. It brings the human aspect. It goes beyond the data sheet of just saying this is what the solution does for you, what product marketing will do. What we do at customer marketing and at customer stories is bring the human aspect, saying, I had this challenge, I bought this solution, and these are the benefits from it. And that's extremely important to the end users, hearing it from a third party, not hearing it from my sales guy, not hearing it from a product guy, but hearing it from a user, getting that validation from the end user, I think is really important within the sales cycles, in any part of the sales cycles, when they're doing that 60% research out there before they come to us, and throughout the sales cycle for us to be able to support our teams.
Do you have any examples of how content has been helping you beyond your sales cycle? I mean, you talked about across the sales funnel. So do you have some good examples that you can share with us?
Yeah, we know for a fact that this works, and it brings us leads, new leads. We had a story in the Nordics when I had written a story about a very large company in the Nordics, and they had published, we published a case study, which was picked up by a local IT magazine. And just basically, they just took our case study and published it. And a prospect, a guy that was using competition solution, went and saw the story, read it, called directly that CIO, and called him and said, hey, what did Polycom do for you? I have the same situation. They met, they exchanged, and that prospect called us. The sales guy was really, really happy because he was telling me, he'd been knocking at that customer's door several times, and that door was closed, and that case study opened up the door for him to be able to show the solution. And it was CIO to CIO talking to each other. So I think that's really, really important. They receive so many sales calls that when they get the information from a third party, it's very valuable. So this happens, not with every story, don't we wish, but it happens regularly. And then maybe it happens and I don't know about it, so.
Could you talk about the various kinds of content that you produce? I mean, is there something that you want to call out and as something that you like and works really well for you guys?
Yeah. To me, the use of the customer story is endless. What I myself produce, when I interview a customer, that's when I decide what kind of what type of content I will produce. So maybe a video, a case study, an infographic, a PR, a press release. these are basically my angles or web story. And from the content that I'm going to get from that I'm going to decide how I'm going to present it to the world, really. And sometimes I'll do all of it. Sometimes I'll do a case study, a video, web story, and an infographic. Sometimes I'll do one of the four, whatever. But after that, I believe that the customer stories go way beyond. We can cut them up, chop them up, take a quote and add it into a tweeter and lead people back into our websites. We can take a quote and add it to a press release that has really nothing to do with the customer himself, but maybe just the product that he's using. We can use it in social campaigns. We can use it in different types, any type of marketing campaigns where you're going to need the validation of a customer. Again, the human side. So it's endless what you can do with the power of the voice of the customer. To me, is just endless. We can chop it up and use it again and again. And we should never limit ourselves on exactly how we do it. There's always several stories within a story.
Can you tell us some of the challenges and best practices? You did cover some of them during your, what you just said. Do you want to shout out, do you want to call out something that is important?
The challenges are to really stay ahead and to deliver your sales force, if I'm talking about sales tools, what they need. You need to constantly, what they want is a customer validating a solution that came out today. And I can't do that. I have to, in order to tell that story, they have to sell it first. And I have to go visit the customer, and he has to have some kind of benefit. So sometimes we're a little delayed. So it's dealing with the demand of the sales team and being able to support them. So my challenge is to constantly be aware of what's being sold where and who's doing what with what. And I need to really have my antennas open at all times and make sure that people come to me with their information so that I can use it and exploit it in the best way possible. So that's a really, really big challenge. And then it's the ROI. We talked earlier about that, examples of prospects coming to us directly. But we know internally they're being used. We know they're being added to RFPs. But how do you actually measure? Do you measure the number of hits and views on your YouTube page? Do you measure? That's always a challenge internally to prove the value. Or is my job just to tick a box to say, I've told that story from that customer? I don't believe that's the only thing I should be reporting on. I should be measured on other stuff beyond that. So that's one of the big challenges of my role today, and delivering the right stories, and how do you measure the influence that it has out there.
If you had to talk about your success mantras and say, if you want to talk about 3 of your success mantras, what would that be?
It's telling the right story at the right time, finding the right validation from the customer, bringing the human aspects. If I come out and the customer is feeling really good about what he's just done, feeling really good about telling his stories, then I'm happy. If he looks good, then I believe that's my role to do that. And the easier, the most comfortable he is in telling his story, the better it will be on video or on paper. And then we can get them to participate in roundtables. So getting the customer to participate in different activities, that's a best practice. Once they're joined the reference program or the customer program, is to really get them to participate in different activities. That's really good. The best practice is being able to promote the story in various manners and get the attention to it. If I can reach my core Polycom team that can then reach their prospects and make sure that the different parts of the organizations are aware that the story exists, that the people running campaigns, and working in close collaboration with all these people. I like to have regular meetings with the campaign team to say, what campaigns are you working on? What messages are you trying to push through? Let me get my customers to tell that story for you and to help you with it. So that's it. It's keeping your antennas open, being aware of what's going on, keeping in line and with your company's objectives and messaging. Always being one step ahead. You got to be one step ahead.
What you're sharing today is really useful, and I think this is going to help others as well. What I want to just tell is that, Meg, we have seen the Polycom program transform itself in the last many months. We've been personally looking at what you're doing, and there is always some element of surprise and nice things that you're doing. And I think this is really going well. And we kind of look at it and say, hey, she's doing something really cool.
Great, thanks.
Thank you so much for doing that and promoting your stories. And thanks for being on this call today. Appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.